It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked, and welcome as we continue a very interesting discussion around the changing face of comedy in the midst of our global pandemic with veteran comedian Kurt Schoonraad. We've got a little bit emotional with, and we are now joined by fellow comedian and old friend Shimmy Isaacs. She's also an actress, a writer, a producer who's finding that lockdown is presenting her with the opportunity to draw from other skills.
Yeah.
You're the only person who's enjoyed lockdown. Now, that was a joke. I always have to open with a joke when I'm chatting to you. It's been unbelievably tough, but
Yeah.
I think now I keep being struck by the sort of, give me lockdown now and I'll crush it.
Yeah.
Because now I can see how to adapt and what to do. What has this experience been like for you?
Well, Graham, you know, thank you for having me. And how's it, my bro?
oui.
Lekker tjus, ja.
Sorry.
You know, Graham, I think I've always sort of prepared myself just by how I've always applied myself in life and within my career, you know, from a sort of a spiritual and mental fitness. That's always been key for me within my business as an artist. So I must be honest, so when lockdown kind of came about, I had a holistic approach to it. You know, some people kind of, you know, was anxious and they kind of went into their heads.
It was overwhelming,
and I think because of the lifestyle that I live, I was able to kind of center myself and kind of really get quiet. I didn't run to the phone or to the computer and wanted to do comedy because I quite frankly wasn't feeling funny. So I really allowed myself to kind of go through the emotional processes that I needed to go through in order to get to a place of acceptance. And only once I got to that place, I was able to kind of have better perspective on how I can apply myself still within entertainment and maybe not within comedy for that time, but I was able to create other work for myself within that, yeah.
She became an online life coach. And she's helped hundreds of people.
Well, yes,
change their
I
lives.
just did my first TED Talk a couple of weeks ago, so that was quite amazing.
It speaks volumes to what you've been through and the fact that this is, I'm sure, for you, just another challenge that you've had to rise to and overcome. But, Kurt, I mean, you're nodding your head there, buddy. Teach an old dog new tricks. We've had to become adaptable in our industries.
Yeah.
Never mind COVID. It's a modern era. You have to, as a comedian, you've got to be able to diversify and reinvent yourself. How important is that?
Well, I think it's a constant and it has to be done whether COVID's there or not. The only thing we're guaranteed of in life really is change. So sometimes it happens faster and that evolutionary process is quicker than it is in other times, and this is a great example. But I think being on your toes and being able to roll with the punches is just part of being alive, you know?
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Get a big cosmic slap across the face. It can actually
A
help
cosmic slap?
Yeah.
big
I've never heard it put that way before.
I'm still reeling, but it's amazing how we can laugh about it now because
Yeah.
things are easing and changing. But I've had to rethink and relearn to do my
definitely.
job because I also, like you, rely on personal interaction.
Yes.
How do you think that personal interaction is going to change now? Do you think we'll ever be the same?
It's interesting that you say that because I do find that some people think that when you're spending time alone, there's such a fine line because it can quickly become isolation, which kind of is the fear for most people, what has happened. You know, they go, oh, I actually like spending time by myself. No, you don't. You're isolating. Come here.
You're hiding.
You're hiding. I mean, I think it's going to take time, and to just add on to what Kurt said earlier on with the group, groups of people being able to go out, it's definitely going to take time. I myself have my own concerns. You know, I have my own little fears here and there. I do what I can. I apply sanitizer. But I think it's going to take time. And I think also people are really going to have to come to terms with some traumatic stuff that they've experienced within COVID. And that in itself is going to take some psychological
healing,
time and some healing.
I think Shimmy's touching on something very important. It's this, the mental health issues that comes along with being isolated from other people for extended period of time. We are gregarious creatures. We're designed to be around other creatures, other like us. And when we isolate, I think there are mental issues that come along with that I don't think we've recognized just yet. Also, as things start to normalize, I'm pretty sure we'll see the effects of this medium to long term as well. And play out.
And through generations as well.
Yeah.
So let me flip this on its head a little bit here and say, well, now you don't just have a room full of people, you've got a whole world ready to connect with you online and take in your content and laugh at you because you are now part of a global village.
I do
Do
like
you
that.
see this changing the way that comedians like, so why not do a couple of live gigs, do a couple of live streams? Do you think the comedy industry is going to change in that way? Is this opening something up?
It is, because I think Kurt and I, we actually live around the corner from each other, so we do see one another and talk about this. One of the things we discussed recently was the middleman falls away, which makes things slightly easier for a comedian wanting to put on a show, right? So you don't have these great expenses of theatre and lights and all of these people that you have to pay, because beforehand, that was sort of the challenge for many artists coming out, even ourselves, you know? And I think the virtual kind of platform has at least given people opportunity to put their content out there completely uncensored, and you know, you don't have to limit yourself, but then you know, there are consequences to every choice that we make. Is this thing longevity? Is there longevity to it? I don't know. I think
I'd like to weigh in here, if I may.
Wait.
I don't think it's going to ever go away. I think we've established now that the online space is here to stay.
Tool.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic tool too. I mean, I've been to funerals recently that was done via a linked up call somewhere. And if you consider that you have people from all over the world wanting to share in this person's last rite, so to speak.
Yeah.
And to do so in person would have cost hundreds of thousands of rands. I mean, physically.
Well,
to
there's
have
a
that kind
spiritual
of interact.
connectedness. Yeah, no, completely.
So I think the online space is on. It's not going to change. I think we're seeing a surge of it right now with COVID. I don't think it will level out a little bit, but I think it's here to stay.
There is another layer to it. Well, I'll tell you one thing, we all need to laugh, and you need to laugh more than you actually know that you need to laugh.